Hello guys and welcome back to another video. I cannot believe how long it's been, and for the record I just want to say I am so sorry for making you wait a whole 8 months for this for this next tutorial because I know you guys shouldn't have waited that long, and I really do apologize because obviously a lot of you, I really appreciate anyone who has returned, but I just feel really bad for those who have waited for a long time. So I'm very sorry. But I thank anyone who came back to watch this fourth tutorial, because it's been such a long time. I just feel bad that I made you guys wait that long. So thank you for any of those who have returned, and if you got or if I have any new viewers, well, welcome to the channel. Please sit back and watch as we learn today how to create a FNAF fan game in Scratch. So last time we worked on some doors and also the monitor too. So but now that we got all these steps down pretty well, we are going to learn camera screens. Now camera screens are going to appear, obviously the cameras, when you pull up the monitor like in the actual games. It's going to show like all the different locations of your pizzeria or diner, restaurant, whichever location that you would want it to be. So for that, we're gonna go ahead and create our camera screens. Also, I kind of noticed too here that our camera button is kind of clipping through the door. That's just a simple fix. We're just gonna let's just clean blocks up, make sure we get everything cleaned up. Let's just make sure that that goes to front layer, wherever it is. Oh, that's right, it's hiding. Okay, there. Instead of having that go to front layer, green flag, we're just gonna have it like go to front layer when the night starts. So hold on, let's just, sorry, this is just a little thing. Don't worry, it's nothing too complicated. Let's just we're gonna grab a night start script, a forever script, and forever go to front layer script. So we're just gonna do that there. Now that's good because then our camera button is obviously our most important aspect when it comes to the cameras, because obviously it's what activates the cameras in the first place, and we got to make sure that that's easy to see and accessible. So we're gonna do that. Alright, so go ahead and create a new sprite and call it camera screen. Once you created that new sprite, we're gonna go ahead and make some camera screens now. So this part is a bit crucial, so you want to make sure that you build an environment that's gonna obviously work for you. It could honestly be like a restaurant, it could be like even like, I don't know, a trampoline park, just something that you would want to do. Don't feel like that you have to do something just because it fits. If it's totally like just out there and it doesn't really match with anything else restaurant, that doesn't matter. Well, whatever is going to fit you, whatever you're going to want to do for your environment, that's completely up to you. For mine, and of course if you guys have already seen my fan game series, Maxwell's Family Diner, well, I'm just going to go ahead and create a simple diner here, just like a simple like small little restaurant. It's obviously I'm gonna have like 4 cameras because this is just like a tutorial, so it's not even like that big of a deal. So I'm just gonna do that. So yeah, it's not gonna be that big of a deal. So I'm just gonna go ahead and like just create like this. Okay, here. So now here, obviously, of course, to make sure your sprite is hiding, and then it's set the 0 to 0 because you want the camera screen in the center. I don't know why, but every time you make a new sprite, it always goes it from X36 to Y28, which makes 0 sense. So make sure that it's 0 0, so then your camera screen is right in the center. Also, I feel like too, sorry, just a little bit of a side note. I feel like these cameras, or sorry, these doors are kind of in the way. I don't think that they should like forever be in the front layer. I don't think it's a good idea. So go ahead and remove those scripts. My apologies. I'm starting to realize now how problematic that really is. There. That's and then of course the office should forever go to back layer. There. Okay. Simple fix. So remember that. Take away the front layer scripts to the doors and forever have the office go to the back layer. That's my bad. I must have forgotten about that last tutorial. I really do apologize. I'm sorry. But remember this now. The office always needs to be in the back layer because there's no point in the office trying to be like in the front of something else. So now that we got that fixed, let's go ahead and get with our camera screens. So as you saw here, we're gonna create like this new broadcast. Let's see if we haven't created it before. It's gonna be called camera up, and we're just gonna have it show and then go to 00. So yeah, it's good. So I'm pretty sure we have already created that. Yeah, we have. Okay. So then as soon as the monitor's animation is done, it's going to broadcast camera up, which is perfect. That's exactly what we want. Let's just clean up those blocks. All right. Perfect. Yep. That's exactly what we want so far. Great. So as you see here, I just kind of pulled in some different costumes from my other projects. You know, you got Maxwell, and he got his good friends Marigold and Rod. And now we're gonna go ahead and take these guys and just kind of like set them on the camera. And obviously you guys can go ahead and create like your own sort of animatronics too. That's, you know, and like what I said too, about the camera screens, you know, create an animatronic that's gonna retain to you, something that you're gonna care about, something that, you know, connects with you, something that, you know, you're gonna be pretty excited to create. Like, don't feel like that you just have to make a specific animatronic just because. But of course with me, kind of lazy. It's just a gray Freddy Fazbear, so nothing special. But that's okay. I think the rest of the band is special, except for Maxwell. If you want to know my developer thoughts, but yeah. Anyway, so we're just gonna just create this little pedestal, just so he can. It's like a little stage that he can just stand on, obviously. And again, you don't have to do what I'm doing. I'm just, you know, obviously your guys's games are gonna look a lot better. I'm just gonna stick to like this gray background with very simple very simple environment pieces here and there. So definitely, you know, and I definitely expect you guys to create much higher quality camera screens than me. So don't worry about this. I mean, and if you need some, you know, help with creation, please feel free to comment below or message me on my Scratch profile, because I'd be happy to give you some pointers on how to, you know, make a good environment. I wouldn't mind it at all. Alright, now we're gonna put the second animatronic. There she is. She's gonna be on that left side, like right there. And then, or the left of Maxwell, the right to us. So, and then we're gonna grab Rod the rooster, and we're gonna put him off to the left right here, or Maxwell's right. Perfect. So we got all these guys here. So now this is kind of just like this is like the show stage. So we can go ahead and call these as well. So we're gonna do show stage full. And the reason why it says full is because we basically have to create like every single like outcome of these animatronics. So like, you know, there's going to be like a possibility that when Rod leaves and there's only going to be 2 animatronics there, or if Miracle leaves and there's going to be only these 2 guys here. So we got to come up with every single possible outcome when it comes to these animatronics. So that's what we're going to do. So now that we have the show stage full, you know, it's looking all right. We're going to go ahead and duplicate this costume. And then now we're going to do show stage Rod gone. So now that we know what we're going to do here, so now we're just going to delete Rod. Then we're going to go ahead and bring back the show stage, and then there you go, 2. Now there's only 2 animatronics. So now see, we have 2 different possibilities. So like when Rod moves to a different location, then that's when he's going to be gone. So now it's just these 2. So you kind of see where I'm getting at. If you're going to create camera screens, then you got to make sure that you can create every single outcome that there is to, you know, create. Obviously, with there being 3 characters here, there could be, I want to say, and I'm sorry, my math probably ain't mathing right now, but maybe around like 6 to 9 different outcomes. So we're gonna try that. And don't, I said 6 to 9, not 69. So yeah. Now we're gonna do show stage Marigold gone. Okay. Which means that now she's gonna be gone. She's gonna be the first to leave. So let's just delete her, and then boom, set that back. Boom, there you go. Now we got another outcome for these characters. Perfect. And now, and it's up to you guys. In this game, I'm gonna have it so that Maxwell is not going to leave until these guys are gone first. But I mean, you don't have to do that. If you want to have, you know, like your main character leave before the other two do, then all you gotta do is just delete your main character, obviously, and then, you know, just put like the show stage back, like I've been showing you guys, and then you can create that sort of outcome. But for me, I will not be doing that, but you can go ahead and create that outcome if you would like. So now we got these. I guess we might have like 4 to 5 actually, so that's not bad actually. Okay, that's a lot better than I thought. So we got these. So stage full, rod gone, marigold gone, and now we're gonna have it so that they are both gone. Let's duplicate again, and let's do. And you can either write it as like, you know, rod and marigold gone, or you can have it just both gone. Something a little bit more simple. You know, drag the stage out of the way, delete these two, gone, and then we're going to put that right there. Okay, and now you just see it's Maxwell left. Or you can even just name the show stage Maxwell, like, you know, because it's only him on there. But it's up to you. You go ahead and name whatever you want. And now we could probably just actually duplicate that. And if you want them all gone, then, well, obviously all I gotta do is just delete all the animatronics. So almost forgot that piece. Okay. And then now with this, you can just name it show stage empty. Good. So now we have a couple of different outcomes and opportunities with the show stage camera. So this is good. So this is basically all we're gonna need. And obviously this will vary. This will be different. If you plan to have like different animatronics, you know, on the show stage, if you're gonna have like 2 of them on there, then obviously you're only gonna need like probably only 3. But if you have like 5 on there, you're gonna need like around 6 to 7. So it will be different, but don't worry, don't be scared by the numbers. Just repeat what I already taught you. So now on to the script part. So now we're gonna have this broadcast. It's gonna say when I receive night start, and then we're gonna set the. Now we're gonna create a new variable, and it's gonna be called camera number. So grab this camera number right here, and we're gonna have that set to 1. And the reason why we have that set to 1 when it's night start is because, well, obviously that occurs in every single like FNAF game. Is that obviously if you leave off on a different camera when the night ends, then, you know, you want to make sure that, you know, it switches back to the first camera when the night begins, or when the next night begins. So that's why we have that there. Obviously grab a simple when flag clicked, and obviously have your when I receive death, hide, stop other scripts and sprite, and when I receive night finished. Because obviously if you get jump scared, then the camera screen needs to hide. So then, you know, obviously you can see the animatronic that jump scares you. And then when the night finishes, then there's no further need to use the camera. So that's why we have that there as well. Now have this have these two. When I receive green flag, hide. Obviously, you know, just in case, like if you were to go back to like the main menu, and obviously the main menu is going to start with green flag, so make sure that's hidden. And then obviously when I receive camera down, hide. So create that script, or I mean, I guess we already created that broadcast with the monitor, but you can go ahead and put when I receive camera down, hide, because then, you know, this will ensure that it shows, and then this script will ensure that it hides. So as you can see right there. Now here's something a little bit more interesting, and I know that this is kind of random, but do not be frightened by the numbers. I will show you how this works. So basically this is if you want to give your camera like any sort of animation. You know how like in the mainline fan games, or sorry, the FNAF games, and I'm sure some fan games, but the real FNAF games have the camera moving back and forth. But in the first 2 games, the camera moves back and forth, side to side. So that's obviously what we're going to try to do here. So we're going to grab a repeat until script from the broadcast. After you grab your repeat until, you're going to want to grab an operator, and it's going to be the one that is greater than. So this one. So it's going to be the arrow, and the arrow is going to be pointing to the right. Or as probably some of you would have learned, I know I did, this is like a crocodile, and the crocodile's mouth is going to be pointing towards the left. But just make sure that you have this script, because if you get it mixed up with this one, then obviously that's going to change like the entire outcome of your script, so be careful. Now, after we have this, we're going to put that in the repeat until, and obviously we're going to adjust the numbers through testing, so don't worry about that right now. Then we're going to grab an X position from motion, put it in that operator. After that, we're going to grab a set X2 block, and don't worry, like I said before, we will be editing these numbers based on our testing, so let's go ahead and do that. And then after that, we're going to do wait 1.5 seconds. This wait block is going to, make sure that our camera waits a little bit before it, turns the other direction. So if it goes from the right to the left, then it's going to wait like a random amount of time, or however you set it, and then it's going to go from left to right. That's what that's going to do. So I'm just going to put 1.5, just following that script, and then we're obviously going to create just grab another repeat until, and now this time we're going to grab this one where the crocodile mouth is pointing to the right, or the arrow, as you can see, is pointing to the left. This specific operator right here. Notice how it's different from the one that we grabbed before. So look carefully at that. Pause the video too if you need to. And then we're going to duplicate this X position, put it in there, and then now we're going to grab our change X blocks. So we're going to change X. So make sure that this first one is a positive number, because obviously if it's a positive number, then the positive X, that means that it's going to be going to the right. And then after it reaches that specific positive number, then it's going to be a negative number. Then it's going to, we're going to change this, negative 0.5. So remember to add that minus to your number. But then because it's negative, then it's going to be going from right to left, because negative X is going to be going to the left. Perfect. Now we're going to grab another set Y, or sorry, set X, I mean, not set Y, set X. Our cameras don't need to be going up and down. And then we're going to grab another wait block, and then there we go. So this is so perfect. So now this is the script that we're supposed to have. I'm just gonna put this one back and take this one I created before, and we're gonna put this in the forever loop. That's going to be with camera up. So make sure that you have this forever loop. Attach it to this script, and then put it right under the camera up script. Perfect. And now, okay, good. So now that we can see, it's moving from the left to the right, and that's awesome. And you can also, again, adjust the speed too. So let's say like 0.5, 0.5. Now it's going to be moving a lot faster because the wait time between is less. Or if you want to as well, you can just completely take the wait times out, and then it will be constantly going back and forth. I guess we could do that. I mean, I'm going to be doing that. That doesn't mean that you have to. Don't worry about it. If you want it to wait, then that's no problem at all. Perfect. Now that we have that, as you can see here, our camera our camera screen is going a little too far off to the left and right, to the point where we can see the office in the background. So we can go ahead and change it too. So X position. So I'm just clicking on that, and okay, so what we could do now is actually lessen this number. Let's do like 40, and let's do like -40. Oh, and then my bad, sorry. Once we edit these numbers, then we gotta do this. So now that I changed it to 40, also remember to set the X to 40. Make sure you do that, otherwise your script is gonna be pretty choppy. So whatever this number is, put it in the set X to. And then I changed this to -40, and then now we're gonna set X to -40. And now this is really good because now if we look, our camera screens really aren't going anywhere. So now I can like move around the office and whatnot, and we can't actually see that. So that's really good. That is really awesome. So looks great. Oh, I accidentally opened the door through the camera screen, and that's okay because that's another important point for this tutorial. So we can go ahead and just let's see. So here's how we're gonna solve this. So let's just clean this up. So obviously we created a variable before that says camera state, so that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna go ahead and grab an if, then else, then we're gonna grab an operator, the equal operator, then we're going to grab camera state and type down in the operator. Now we're gonna go ahead and go to this script and put this script inside the if camera state down then. Do not put it in the else category, just put it in the top one. Then put that back in the forever loop. So let's see where our button is. Okay. So our buttons are there. So as you can see, I'm tapping it right now and it's not actually doing anything. And that's because it's checking to make sure that the camera state is down before it actually does anything. So now let's put that down. Now we can do that. So that is how to solve that problem. Apologies for not going over that in my last tutorial either, but that's how we can solve the problem. And now we're just going to give this to the other buttons in the office, and then repeat what I already did here. So obviously for these ones, just put that there in the forever loop. Just gonna clean those up. And now it looks like the light can't activate either. Great, now the light can't activate either. Now for the right door button, and then the right door light. Great. So now that we have that fixed, now we cannot access our doors nor our door lights through the camera screen, and that should make a lot more sense now, considering that, we obviously shouldn't be able to, mess with these through the camera screens because, we got our monitor up. So now with that, we're gonna go ahead and get back to creating more camera screens. So now that we got our show stage, I'm just gonna go ahead and duplicate this. Now we're gonna do let's do dining area. It's gonna be the area where the show stage is, but then it's also going to be like, where people can eat and whatnot. Obviously, if you guys ever been to a Chuck E. Cheese, there's the dining room with a lot of tables, and all that, and then in front of the dining room is where the show stage is for the animatronics. But if you have no idea what I'm talking about, that's okay, no problem at all. So with this is obviously just going to be super simplistic. Again, I do expect your guys's to be much better than mine, and I will definitely believe that your guys's will be much better, because I'm sure that all of you are very, very creative and very intelligent and talented. So here, I'm just making brown for like the table legs, so we're gonna add some tables here. So I'm just gonna add like some table legs, like 1, 2. And here we can even take that outside the camera or the camera area to make that easier. And then now I'm just gonna do white for like a tablecloth. Oops, better fix that again. Okay, now do that. Okay, good. And then there. So now we got our really terrible, lazy table. But again, this is just for a tutorial. I would never do this in terms of my games, but don't feel like don't feel like you guys have to make these amazing fan games. If it's something that you're able to actually make and that you're happy with, I'd say you did a great job and that you should go all for it, because you really shouldn't be put down by the quality of your fan game. If it's able to work and you're able to have a good time while playing it, and others are too, then I'm pretty sure that's all that matters. You know, it doesn't need to look absolutely amazing or realistic, because obviously you can't make too many realistic things in the scratch vector, but good enough. But okay, so now we got our tables. Obviously, we could have some chairs too. Let's just go ahead and make some like wooden chairs. And again, your dining room does not have to look like mine. If you want to have like different things in your dining room, you want to have like these little like different chairs to sit on. Like you can have like all these different chairs, different design chairs. Probably something actually more interesting. Probably cool chairs. I've been talking a lot about chairs. I'm sorry, I realize that now, but you can do whatever you want. If you want to have some lights, you can do that too. Maybe here, I'll give you guys like a creative boost here. Maybe I can put like different lighting and whatnot. That'll be kind of exciting. So here, let's go ahead and go into this setting. Cancel that, and then let's obviously make that a little bit brighter. So now we're going to put some different lighting in this. Obviously take away that outline. Wait, we have to flip that. My bad. There. And now we got like some cool lighting. And then we can go ahead, do that, and then let's make this lighting blue. That'd be pretty cool. Oh, oops, wait, wrong one. There. There we go. 65. Yeah. There you go. So now just some different lighting. Obviously that is super lazy, but it's something, And again, I expect your guys' to be much better. So really, I wouldn't worry too much about, I wouldn't worry too much about you guys, because I know that you guys are going to do really good on this. But this is just a simple tutorial. But now that we have our tables, we have our lighting, this is going to be our dining room. Very exciting. We're going to add our animatronics here. So this is going to be dining room full. Now with this being the full dining room, we're going to take all of the animatronics that are in here, and then we're going to go ahead and obviously make all the different opportunities now. And of course, as you guys can see, my animatronics look super friendly. You don't have to make your animatronics look like this at all. You can go ahead and just do whatever you want. If you want to make them look friendly on the cameras, but then they look scary when they get to the office, or you want to add like some specific lighting to like give them the silver eyes effect and all that, yeah, you could like totally do that too. Like no problem at all. That is completely up to you guys, but obviously I'm being a bit lazy. I'm just not really changing their facial expressions, although I do have silver eye versions of these characters. I'm just not using them right now. There we go. I'm just kind of making it look like that they're standing like behind the table, so obviously you might have to change some things here and there for your characters, or at least for your characters, for them to fit in the environment, but it should work out. Alright, now that we have all of our characters here, and they all each have their own little table, which is pretty cool. Now we're going to go ahead and duplicate, and then now we're going to finish up the rest of the outcomes and opportunities. So now we got Rod gone, dining area, Rod gone. Or of course you could always name this to dining area like Maxwell and Marigold, but like I'm just gonna name it like dining area, Rod gone, just to emphasize that the one character is gone. Now this is gonna be a little bit more tricky to remove the animatronics from their environment, considering that the environment has more stuff. So just try your best, obviously. I mean, like, hopefully your animatronics are a lot better optimized than mine are, because mine are very messy animatronics, which is why it's hard for me to actually remove them. Rod is probably the easiest, but Maxwell and Marigold, probably not so much. But there we go. Oh, and missed a little piece. Now that we have those two, we're going to create another one. And this time it's going to be Marigold gone. Now, we're going to have it so that Marigold disappears from that area. Okay, she wasn't so bad actually, that's good. Okay, now let's just put that back there. Okay, now we got these two characters, and now perfect. And so we already got almost all of our opportunities. Let's just go ahead and duplicate that, make it easier. And now this one's going to be both gone. Let's just do both gone. Perfect. Now that both of those are gone, we're just going to probably name this either both gone, or you could do like Maxwell gone. Like it doesn't matter. Like either way, how you're gonna see it, and either both gone or just so and so animatronic. You can just put that there. But now those are pretty much all of them. Hold on, let's do dining room empty now, because we gotta obviously have the empty version. So we're gonna do empty and then just empty that out. By Maxwell, and then we're just gonna go ahead and do that. Okay, perfect. Now this is gonna be dining area empty, and everyone's gonna be gone now. So now we got all of the different outcomes and opportunities for this camera. Very, very good. This is like 2 out of 4 cameras here, so like about halfway through. So it's looking pretty good. Obviously, well, it's not looking too good because this is very lazy, but it's something. It's whatever. And now we're going to go ahead and let's see. Oh yes, we should create some hallways for our animatronics. So like how in the first FNAF game you can see a left and right hallway to see how close the animatronics really are to your office. Well, we can go ahead and make those here because I feel like that would make some sense. So we can go ahead and do that. Now again, a lot of this 3D perspective stuff can be difficult if you're creating it in like a 2D vector and whatnot, but don't worry. I'm here to help because I've had a lot of experience in this stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and just so this is gonna be the left hallway, so which means that we're going to need to make that the perspective. There you go. As you can see here, that's basically the left wall right there. That looks pretty good. Obviously I'm going to shorten it so it's more centered, but there you go. That's going to be the left wall, and obviously you can kind of see where I'm going with this. How it's gonna, and that's how it works in real life based off your perspective and how a 3D object looks like. That's what it's going to be like. So now we're going to do that. Now we're going to probably I think we should, yeah, let's do that. But this time it is going to be shorter. So then we're still gonna because obviously if we put it like that, it's just gonna look like a centered hallway. And of course you can do that if you want to as well. Like don't worry about it. You don't have to do exactly what I'm doing here. I'm just trying to give you the basics on how to make a 3D environment in like a 2D vector. So now we got that. Looks pretty good. That definitely looks like a perspective right there. And now we can go ahead and just make the floor. Now at the floor, you don't have to be too fancy with it. You can probably just do that and then send it to the back. Boom, like that. Now I'm sure some of you probably know now where I'm going with this. And now we could probably like create the ceiling now. We're just gonna also have to put that in the back and make sure that your ceiling and floor line up with the edges and points of your walls. So then it looks natural, looks pretty good. Obviously this is like a oddly rectangular hallway. That's pretty weird. I feel like, so what we could do is probably edit this just a little bit more. Okay, that actually looks a bit better. There. Okay, that looks better now. So now we have our 3D left hallway. This looks amazing. Now we're gonna go ahead and just put like something there. Obviously too, now when I do this, it's gonna look closed in, obviously. But there's also a trick to work around that. If you don't want it to look like it's closed in, you could always do something like this. So this is what I kind of learned too. Have your right side of the wall go there, and then have it go there. Perfect. And now as you can kind of see, it gives off the illusion that there's something around the corner. I don't know if some of you people can see this, but for those who can see it, you probably know what I'm talking about. It looks like that the floor goes this way and then this way, or let's illustrate that through like a marker here. Let's do like black. So you look like you're walking like through here, and then like, oh okay, this is the dead end. Oh look, I can go towards the right because it looks like you can, even though that's not even the case. So that's just kind of like a little bit of a different thing that you can do. Also, you can probably just add some lighting here. So You know, like you can obviously like make it like differently lighting and whatnot, and so like you can like make this black and then add some lighting and all that to kind of make it look like that there's more in terms of like further down the hallway, but it's just kind of shadow by light. So you can obviously do that too. I mean, it's completely up to you guys, but for now I'm just gonna try the little 3D corner trick. I think that's pretty cool. And now this one's going to be left hallway, and then we're gonna put Rod on the left hallway because canonically in my game he travels down the left hallway. Perfect. So there you go. He's a little bit big for that hallway, but it'll suffice. Great. Now let's duplicate. Let's obviously just move this hallway out of the way. Here I could also like maybe a little tricky, like again, maybe a bit difficult to add some stuff to your environment, like the more animatronics you got, or like the more things that are in your environment. Here, let's just try and see where that went. Oh, I'm not getting that back. Also, another trick I learned too, and sorry, almost forgot to mention this, but you can also create a empty sprite at the beginning and then duplicate that sprite and then add the animatronics to the duplicates. So then you won't have to worry about, you know, doing what I just did right there. Yeah. All right. So now this is going to be left hallway Maxwell, because Maxwell will be allowed to travel through the left hallway. I know in the original FNAF 1, basically Freddy goes, or at least the Freddy character goes along with Chica in the right hallway. But this time Maxwell's just going to go through the left hallway. It's kind of, you know, try to fit him in this environment. There we go. Now he's in the left hallway. And now we can do left hallway empty. You know, I probably really should have taken my own advice and created an empty sprite. But now, because I didn't, that's just going to be harder for me. So don't be like me and make it empty sprite first and then add the animatronics to the duplicate. My bad. Alright, so now we're going to do that. Oh, that's obviously off-centered. Or is it? Wait. Let's make sure that it's... Okay. Nope, we're good. Great. So now that we got all that, we can go ahead and make the right hallway. Now this, you guys can obviously make your hallways however you want. Of course, in the original FNAF 1, the perspective of the hallways are different. So the left hallway kind of looks like this, but the right hallway, it's kind of shaped differently. I'm just going to go ahead, take the lazy way out, and just mirror it. So then now that's a right hallway. Obviously super lazy, but you know, it's this is just a tutorial. I definitely expect your guys' games to look way better. Okay, right hallway marigold. So now this is what I was talking about. So actually, hold on, let's just do empty. So create an empty costume first, and then duplicate that, and then add the animatronic to that duplicate. So that's just gonna make it easier on you. Apologize for not letting you know that sooner. But there you go. So now let's obviously size her for the hallway. Perfect. So now we got all of our hallways. So because it's just her going in the hallway, I only need 2 different outcomes. And I need 3 different outcomes for these guys. And obviously, there is a chance that they both could end up coming at the same time down this hallway. Personally, what I did in my game is that if that happened, I just put like a little video error. Obviously, you know, I kind of freaked the player out thinking that, oh shoot, one of my cameras went offline or something. But when really it was just kind of me just being lazy. So I do apologize for that. But if you got 2 or more characters that will you know, travel through the hallways, it is a huge possibility that they actually might end up being there at the same time. Especially if you have a character like Maxwell, where he's a lot like Freddy, where he's not going to leave the hallway, and that he will just return to your door after like a short amount of time. So here we got left hallway Maxwell, and I'm also just going to use the fancy A to shorten that. Maxwell and Rod. And now we'll put them both together in the hallway. I know that looks kind of weird how Rod's shorter, like a lot shorter than Maxwell, but oh well. Again, this is just like me just being lazy. But again, if you're gonna have 2 or more characters be down like one of the hallways, make sure to add that opportunity. Then make sure that you put both of them in the cameras, because there is a huge possibility, and this always happens in my fan games, where 2 or more animatronics are going to end up in the same location at the same time. So make sure that you have this outcome where both animatronics are going to be in the same camera, because that's important. But yeah, and then as for Marigold, obviously she's by herself, so that's not many camera sprites at all. But this is perfect. So now we have all 4 of our cameras that we were going to be creating. We have the show stage, dining area, the left hallway, and the right hallway. This is really good. So now here we can just go ahead and delete our character models, and then these are all the cameras that we're going to need. Perfect. Now that we got our cameras, obviously we're going to have to figure out, well, how are we going to actually make these cameras work? Like, you know, how are the animatronics supposed to show up when they're supposed to show up? Well, that is a good question, actually, and I will show you how to do that. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and create 3 different variables. So first one is going to be max location. You know, this is Maxwell's location. Then we're going to create another one, and this one's going to be Rod location. And then we're going to go ahead and create Marigold location. Now, obviously, the amount of variables that you're going to have to create will vary on how many different animatronics you have. I have 3 right now, but you could probably end up having like maybe 4 or 5. But just remember that you're just going to want to create a location variable for each of your animatronics that you make. We're going to go ahead and have, we're going to create this script. So get a night start when I receive night start broadcast. Then get a forever loop. Then grab an if then, not an if then else, just an if then block. And then grab an equals operator. After that, you're going to want to grab an and operator. Like this. And then, if we haven't before, I don't think that we've created this before in our other tutorials, go ahead and create a new variable. It's going to be called camera number. You can obviously do like, you know, camera hashtag, or actually put like camera number in, you know, number spelt out. I just put camera number. So now that we have our 4 variables here, so now we're going to take our camera number variable, we're going to put it inside of the operator, and obviously we're going to put 1 because we're focusing on camera 1 right now. Then we're going to put it inside the and operator. Then we're going to take this whole operator and put it inside the if. Let's just work on one of these for now. So now we got that. Now we're going to go ahead and take this. So we're going to put one of our new variables. So let's just do like max location first, and then we're going to take an and. Then we're gonna go ahead and here, let's just replace that with Marigold location, and then here let's categorize these, that there, and then we're gonna get another and we're gonna go ahead and duplicate that equals, and then we're gonna go ahead and put Rod in there, and now it should look like this. Now this is going to be our operator. It's going to be based on like 3 different animatronics. So then it's going to be, of course, this will probably look different based on how many animatronics you have. But for this one, it's just going to be 3 animatronics. Now, since we have this here, we're going to go put that in the and operator, put that inside the forever loop. And then now we're going to go ahead and take a costume. Or sorry, that's sound. I need costume. Now we're going to have show stage full. Now let's click that. And then, oh, and also it's probably not showing because we didn't actually set their location once, so that's my bad. So let's, and make sure we can do that as well. Set max location to 1. Now we're going to switch this, Marigold location to 1, and now Rod location to 1. Camera might not be set to 1 either, so let's just go ahead and do that. Camera 1. Boom, there we go. So that's what we want to see. So our camera number, and hold on, let's also pull up all the rest of the variables here. So we got max location, then we got camera number. Perfect. So now we can see here camera number is 1, and all the animatronic locations are 1. Now this is good. This is actually off to a very good start. So we're going to go ahead now and get to the rest of the opportunities for the show stage. So now we're going to duplicate this entire script. And now let's say we want to take Rod out of the equation. Well, don't worry, we don't have to really delete anything. We just have to add one simple operator, and it's the not operator. So this not operator is pretty crucial in terms of these different opportunities for our camera screens. So we're going to take whichever animatronic that we don't want to be there. We're going to take their operator location, and we're going to put that in the not operator, and then we'll just drag this back to the spot that it once was. And now max location equals 1, marigold location equals 1, and not Rod location equals 1. So which means that Rod's going to be gone. So which means that now we're going to do show stage Rod gone. Now let's I have an idea, so let's just go ahead, hit Rod location, and change Rod location by 1. Boom. So now Rod location is 2, but these 2 other animatronics are at 1. So now it's switched to the costume. Show stage Rod gone. Perfect. That's exactly what we got to do. Then we're going to duplicate this, and we're actually going to go ahead and change a little bit. Now, since we have camera 1, and we got all these, we're going to go ahead, take that out, put Rod location back, and now we're going to add this not to marigold location. So now put marigold location equals 1 into the not operator, and then put that back to where it was. And then we're going to go ahead and switch costume to show stage marigold gone. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's set Rod to 1. And then we're going to go ahead and change marigold location by 1. Boom. Now, as you can see here, she disappeared. She's not there anymore. So there you go. That's what we want. So this is good. So now all of these, both of these opportunities and different outcomes are working. So that's good. Now we're going to go ahead, duplicate that. And now we need both of them to be gone. So we're going to go ahead, take that out. We're just going to duplicate that and then add the not to both Rod and marigold. Let's go ahead and do that. And then we're going to put that there. And then we're going to do show stage both gone. So now this time it's going to be not marigold and Rod. Let's change Rod's location by 1. Boom. There you go. Perfect. Now that's what we want to see. Now there's only Maxwell. Now, of course, this probably will be different if your main character is going to move before these 2 other side characters. So obviously you're probably going to want to add like another opportunity for that. For me, that's not going to be possible. Maxwell has to wait until both these guys are gone for him to move. Of course, you don't need to do that. That's not required for you to do that. That's just me. But now, if we want all of them gone, we're going to duplicate this again, and then we're going to add a not to Maxwell's sprite. Or sorry, script, I mean. So now we're going to add a not to Max location. Put that there, and then put that in there. And now we're going to change, let's see, Maxwell location by 1. So max location equals 2. Something a little strange is going on here. Unless if, oh right. Sorry, my fault. I forgot to switch the costume. Make sure you switch the costume. There you go. Show stage empty. Perfect. So now all of them are gone because they are no longer in the camera. As you can see here, they are all in the second location while we are still looking at camera number 1. Now that we got that, we are going to now work on the second location. So now everybody is in the dining area, but we can't see that yet. So let's go ahead and, see that. So lucky enough for us, that dining area actually has the same number of outcomes that this show stage should have because of all that. Because there's only 3 animatronics and pretty much the same number. So let's go ahead, we're going to duplicate this entire script. With our second script, we're going to put it under the first script and put it in the forever loop. Now we're just going to switch everything to. Make sure you do that immediately so then you're not confused by the first and second script. Okay, good. So now what's simple about this is that we'll just change every number 1 in here to 2. And then after that, we'll go ahead and get to switching the costumes around. But for now, this is a pretty simple part. It shouldn't be too hard considering that it's just like 3 animatronics both in the show stage and dining area. And obviously it is going to get more complicated if you were to add more animatronics into your game, but it's okay. Just be patient, make sure you know what you're doing, keep repeating like what I'm showing you. Make sure that you add all of your animatronic location variables into this, and then make sure you have all of the outcomes that there should be. Because if you don't have all of your outcomes, and I actually tested this before, your cameras will actually act really weird and will kind of just start to break because they don't really know which costume to switch to, considering that you didn't really provide them all the costumes that they needed. So just watch out for that, take your time and be patient. There you go. Now we got everything is switched to 2. I'm just going to go ahead and make sure I got one last check, make sure that there are no 1s. And yeah, looks good. So now we should be okay, good. So yeah, we should be good. So now all the costumes are set to these different outcomes. Now the only reason we can't see the dining room is because we haven't actually really switched our camera. So now we're going to switch our camera. Let's just go camera number, and then we're going to change by 1. Boom. There you go. So now we have all of their locations, and they all match the camera. Great. So now we can see all of them. We can obviously all see their cheery faces and all that. Great. So now we're going to go ahead and perfect. Actually, now this is going to be a little different. So now let's set Rod location to 1. Good. Okay, he disappeared. That's awesome. Let's set Marigold location to 1. Perfect, she's gone. And now let's set Max location to 1. Boom, he's gone. Awesome. Now that is all we pretty much needed. We're gonna go ahead and change each of their locations again. Max location. Okay, now Max location is in 3. Now location 3 is gonna be the left hallway, and location 4 is gonna be the right hallway. Don't worry, we will get to that selective location feature later on in the series. Do not worry about that right now. Just letting you know at least which locations are which, at least in my restaurant. We got Marigold location, change hers. And then something interesting else that I came by actually is that so Marigold is the only one in the dining area right now. So basically actually I think what I forgot is that it's not like the show stage where each animatronic is able to, leave and whatnot. So basically, because Maxwell can leave at the dining area, then we're gonna have to create more outcomes. So that's my bad. So I apologize. So take this, and then we're gonna do dining area Marigold. And then Maxwell is going to be gone from this equation. There, now we have a single camera for Marigold, and now let's go ahead and create another one. And then this one's going to be not Maxwell and not Rod, but don't put a not in Marigold's script. So let's go ahead and do that. If camera equals 2, and then dining room Marigold, let's go ahead and do that. Boom. Okay, there you go. So that's my fault. I almost forgot about that. Maxwell is able to leave in this location. He doesn't have to wait for either animatronic to leave first, so which means that that's going to open up some more opportunities. So now we have to create one where it's going to be Rod now, and Rod only. I'm glad I actually figured that out and remembered that, because that would not have been good. Not Maxwell, but we're gonna put Rod there. We're not gonna add a not to Rod's, and then that's going to be dining area Rod. And now let's change Marigold location by 1, and then we're gonna change Rod location by 1. Boom, perfect. So now it's just Rod. So that's good. So now we have both Marigold and Rod if they were there by themselves. That's good. So for this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we got that, 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 and I think the last one we should do is both Marigold and Rod. I think that's the last one that we need to do. So we're gonna do that dining area, Rod and Marigold. Let's put that there. Perfect. Now take that out of the way. Grab another script, put that there, and then we're gonna add a knot to Maxwell's only. Okay, perfect. And switch that to dining room, Rod and Marigold. Perfect. So now we have pretty much all the possible outcomes. I do apologize. I remember now that since these guys can move without, or Maxwell can move, I mean, without having to wait for these guys to be gone, that opens up even more opportunities. So that is all the possible outcomes for the dining room. That's definitely something important to remember, is that if there's an animatronic that is now allowed to move and doesn't have to wait for other animatronics, then that means that you're obviously gonna have to create even more outcomes. But yeah. So all right, sorry about that. Almost forgot about that, but that's okay. Glad I remembered that. We're gonna go ahead now and copy the third part of the script. Okay, and then we're all obviously going to switch this to 3. So for this one, obviously, since location 3 being the left hallway, Marigold is not going to be featured in this. So we're just so we're gonna take that out, but that's fine because she's gonna have her own hallway pretty soon here. Take that out. So it's just gonna be Maxwell and Rod in this hallway. Okay, if Maxwell and Rod are there, that's going to be left hallway empty. If Maxwell's not there, but then Rod is, that's going to be left hallway Rod. If camera equals 3 and Maxwell is there and not Rod, that's going to be left hallway Maxwell. And then if they both are there, perfect. There we go. So here are all of our possible outcomes for the left hallway on camera 3. So obviously make sure you have everything listed as 3 right here, or different numbers, so you don't get yourself confused from the last part. And then now we're going to go ahead, switch around, and this hopefully should work. Since there's only 2 animatronics in that camera, it shouldn't be that many outcomes. So let's set Rod location, or hold on, sorry, let's just change Rod location by 1. Okay, he's in 3 and Maxwell is in 3. Perfect. Now let's change camera by 1. Perfect. There you go. So this is the left hallway, and now both of them are there. That is awesome. Okay, so let's set Rod location to 2. Boom. So now it's just Maxwell. And now we're going to set, let's change Max location by 1. Obviously, he won't be allowed to go in the 4th location, that being the right hallway, but just doing it as testing right now. Set Rod location to 3. Perfect. And we already saw them together. So let's do set Max location to 3. Change Rod location by 1. Boom. Perfect. So that should be all of the outcomes, and then change Max location by 1. Good. So now that is the left hallway empty. That is awesome. So these are all the different outcomes for the left hallway. That's good. So now, super simple for Marigold. She's just gonna have like 2 different locations to go to. So let's set those to 4. Take these out. Okay, now we're gonna set this to 4. And then we're gonna do that, and then perfect. So because she's only there, we're just gonna need 2 outcomes: if she's there and if she's not. So now we're gonna go ahead, right hallway empty, or sorry, for this one, right hallway Marigold, and then if she's not there, right hallway empty. Super duper simple. Now set Marigold location to 4, and then change camera number by 1, 2, 3. Perfect, she's there. Also 2, that's kind of weird. That should not be happening. Huh. That is kind of weird. Okay, so it's a good thing though that we found a bug, because now we can fix that. But we'll get to that later. So perfect. So now Marigold's in that camera, and then let's say we change her location by 1. Boom, she's no longer there. Perfect. So now set her back. Perfect. So now she's in that camera. Now she's all good to go. So yeah, that's it, guys. That is it for the camera screens. Since all of them are pretty much completed, that will definitely set the way for our camera buttons, because now we're going to have camera buttons that will be introduced in the next episode. And I promise next episode is going to be coming a lot faster, because I realized how slow my last or at least how big that gap was between my last upload and this upload. I really do apologize. I'm going to make sure that I get on the next tutorial super soon. But with that, we're going to be learning camera buttons, and then probably going to be learning a little bit about animatronic AI. That's going to be interesting. But for now, just super happy we could even get the camera screens done. We will be worrying about the camera buttons next episode, so then obviously we can change the cameras around instead of just changing it by the variable, because that's super inefficient. And obviously that wouldn't make sense if we didn't have any camera buttons. But now we're just going to go ahead and figure out this problem. I see what's going on. So now we're going to add an OR. And then now we're going to add a camera state up. Or sorry, no, keep that down. My bad. Keep that down. So now we're going to add an OR operator. And then we're going to add a camera state equals down to that OR. Take this, add that to that, and then... Oh, hold on. Sorry, no, don't use an OR. You have to make sure that it acquires for both. Okay, I'm so sorry. Okay, perfect. So this is what we got to do in order to get rid of that bug. So for this, it's going to say if office X is greater than 187, make sure to add an AND operator, this, and then add in camera state down, because then this script is going to be checking if the office X is more than 187, and it's also going to be checking if the camera state is down. Since it's going to be checking for both of those things, if our camera state is up, that button will not be allowed to show. Great, and then when I flip it down, then that button is allowed to show. Great. Now we obviously have to do this for the rest of these buttons, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's just add it to that. Go ahead, do that. So just simple, just repeat these next steps with the other 4 buttons. I do apologize. I don't know why that I kind of skipped over some steps last episode, but I'm glad that we are experiencing these bugs right now so that we can go ahead and fix them, because I'm sure that for those who have followed my last tutorial are a little bit confused as to why the buttons are still showing when the camera screen is up. But now make sure to follow that right there. And there we go. Again, major apologies for that inconvenience. That should pretty much be everything. So now that I'm moving my mouse around, obviously we can see the camera buttons, but then when I do it in the cameras, we can't see them. Perfect, that's exactly what I want. That is awesome. Well, that is great. So now we fixed the buttons. Now the buttons are friendly towards the camera, screen, and the camera screen is friendly towards the buttons, and everything's working out really well now. All of our different camera opportunities are working. So yeah, this will be the end of the 4th tutorial. I hope you guys really enjoyed this tutorial. I hope that I could provide you with adequate information on how you're able to create your fan game. I really hope I was able to help. I really hope I was also able to help you understand camera screens, because I know that they can be confusing, especially when you have to create different opportunities for the cameras for the animatronics, because as you can see there, I got stuck on the dining area. I kind of forgot to give Rod and Marigold one more opportunity, so that was a little confusing, but then once I figured it out, it was pretty simple from there. So definitely not something too much to worry about. Just be careful with like the location and the camera number, because obviously if something's not adding up, and even if you have the right costumes and whatnot, always make sure to check back in your script and see if the location it matches up with the number. So obviously, if you're not seeing like Marigold here like you should be, then obviously make sure to check the camera number and her location, or maybe there's something wrong in your script, and that's okay. If you need to rewatch it, go ahead and take your time, and there is no rush. Obviously a lot of bad fan games are released when people rush and rush and rush. So please take your time. There isn't going to be a rush, and if you do have any questions, please let me know. Contact me either on my Scratch profile, or you can comment down below, and I will of course read your comment, and I will do whatever I can to help you, because I understand that this could be a confusing process. When I first started out, I was super confused myself. So it's okay if you need help, because I'm willing to help anyone who needs it. But anyways, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Again, I really do apologize for making you guys wait a long time for this next tutorial. I get it. It was like a huge 8-month gap. I had a lot going on in my life, and I just didn't have the motivation whatsoever to make new videos. I appreciate anyone who is, here in these tutorials, watching the tutorials, I really do appreciate it. So thank you for watching this tutorial. I hope I did my best to explain it to you. If you're confused about something or something just doesn't add up, please let me know in the comments, because I would be more than happy to help you. But that's going to be it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next tutorial where we will be learning camera buttons. Goodbye.